Welcome. Today is our August 6, 2024 work session fiscal court meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask Mr. Charlie Pearl to come forward. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it's also an honor to be a member of the Frankfurt Interfaith Council, that we promote understanding and mutual respect among the participants of all faiths. And we have, you've probably heard this. I don't need to go over that. So I'll do the opening prayer. May all beings be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May we all be happy. May everyone be healthy, and may our bodies support the practice of loving awareness. May we all be free from ill will, affliction, and anxiety. May we all love and accept ourselves as we are. May we be happy and free from suffering. May we all find peace in an uncertain world. May we all find ease and fulfillment on our own individual path.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Thank you. Alrighty, now I'm going to ask, is there any public comments? See no public comments. I'm going to invite Chief Brewer to come forward, please. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Judge. Good evening, Court. So if you'll all recall, at the last court meeting, we had a retirement and a promotion to the captain. So we've brought newly promoted Captain Chris Brown down here to do his official pinning ceremony along with his family. So, Captain Brown, if you want to come on up. Chief Oakley.
You want to stand up here and I'll get out of the way, and then Andrew can have somewhere to shoot maybe?
So Chris has been with the department for 11 years now, started with us 2013. He's done an exceptional job as a firefighter, often stepping into the captain role when needed. So we have big hopes and dreams of what his future is going to be with the department, and we have no doubt that he's going to continue doing great things for us.
No disrespect. Can the whole court take a picture? Would that be okay? Let's go, guys. Get a picture. Congratulations. Yeah, they're in there. They're by themselves.
Yeah,
we can do that.
yeah, kind of scooch in if we don't, Richard, if you don't mind maybe coming over here a little bit.
They may be behind, but I know.
Well, that's better. Okay, that's better. 1, 2, 3. All right, good. I'm going to step back over because I'm getting All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and one last time now, y'all. 1, 2, and 3. All right, perfect. Fire. All right, guys, we got 1, 2, and 3. Looking good, gonna do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, one last time. 1, 2, perfect. Perfect.
Finally got a little guy to smile.
All righty, now I'm going to invite Mr. Duke Wilburn up to talk about the road department a little bit. Good evening, Duke.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How y'all?
Good, thank you.
Just like to update you on what the crew's been doing. Of course, we got a mowing crew out about every day, for the most part. They're in District 6 right now, mowing. Culvert crew about every day as usual. And then we've been doing second round of spraying around the county for the year. Of course, our chipping crew 2 days a week as well, so. And some good news is we're gonna receive our new grapple truck Monday, so that'll help things out. We did assist Kentucky River Authority and City of Frankfort Emergency Management doing some river cleanup August 1st and 2nd, so that's a pretty good deal. Spoke with Larry Hunt about the, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sherry.
No, all I was gonna say was they did a phenomenal job. There was a lot of things that they pulled out of that river, and if anybody's ever worked the Kentucky River Clean Sweep, you know that there's a lot of stuff. They pulled the boat hole out of there, which was fantastic. That impacts all users of the river, so it was amazing the work that they did.
Yeah, it was a complete
It was-
houseboat.
it
It
was.
sunk, part of it did
Yes.
sunk, so
Yes.
big deal. Talked to Larry Hunt, with the mow trim, should be delivered on the 30th, if nothing else changes. As well as the ditching head, it's coming in at the same time. So that's some good news. As far as the new building project, I don't have a lot to report on it, except for it's moving in the right direction now, so. New guy with Codell and Rising Sun, things are starting to make a turn.
And I believe Duke, I mean, he thinks they're going to hit their number, no problem as far as completion date.
Right, he's hoping to be done a little early,
Yeah.
so let's hope so. Kevin Ailes is the Codell guy.
So to let you guys know, one of the things that I've requested from Codell and OHM is an updated timeline of what they think, who's going to be on site when, and when they're going to be able to be finished.
Yeah,
Yep.
things are looking a lot better down there,
Yeah.
so that's a plus.
All righty, thank you very much.
Have they started the apron on the building?
They have not. That's coming up later in the week. They're waiting on some plates for the ballards. They changed the way the ballards were going to be at the doorways, so that's kind of hold up on it.
Go ahead, Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I can't say enough about the mowing crew. They've done a phenomenal job out in District 1 before they moved on, so thank you for that. And again, thanks for all the guys that showed up down there at the old Lawrenceburg boat ramp, because that was phenomenal, the work that they did. Offloading from the barge, getting everything off, and then putting that in the trucks and getting that moved out.
Right.
That was phenomenal to know that that is all out of the river now.
Right.
That is phenomenal.
I think they actually got some sort of dock, a big dock.
They
that
did.
Sunk as well, so.
They did. Ton of styrofoam is now out of the river, and so it was fantastic to see. I took a ton of pictures of it, so I
Good.
can share those. So.
Any other questions for Duke while he's here?
I have a question. We met on Metaglen problem with their drainage out there, and HMB was looking at maybe a solution. Did y'all speak any more about that?
Have not heard anything. He had some homework to do to find out exactly on the easements and that sort of thing, so I think he's working on that right now. Should be getting back with us anytime.
Good.
All righty, Duke, thank you. We appreciate you and your team. All righty, next, I believe Mr. Jeff Hancock's here. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing really well, Judge. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Good. Couple updates. As some of you all may know, I know that Squire Harrod knows this, but we found a glitch in not in the election system, but in the mapping system. And what had happened, and it wasn't recorded anywhere. So back in 2017, when the ABC decided to create a map of the entire state of Kentucky, they went in and asked for a survey of all the dry precincts. From what we could find and from everything that we knew from the Franklin County Standard, and that came from the judge's office, from the ABC controller at the time, from everything, that every precinct was wet. So that's how we responded. That wasn't picked up in 2017. It didn't get picked up until we did reapportionment. Ms. Quarles brought it to our attention that the Swallowfield precinct had always been dry. It had been dry, and it took me over 2 months of looking to find an order book where it was in it. In July of 1966, they did a wet-dry option vote. After voting the entire county dry, the option vote came in Swallowfield. The option vote was voted down to vote for it to be wet at a vote of 59 to 72. So we found all the documentation after quite a bit of hunting. I will say this, Jack and Mike Harrod, everybody did their part in trying to find out what the issue was, why we couldn't locate it. ABC had no documentation of this. So this was not something that was done in error as much as in lack of paperwork and lack of knowledge. So with that being said, there's 698 total voters out in the Swallowfield precinct, which was now a portion of the Owenton Road precinct. There is no wet-dry question at this point. It is a dry precinct. So they would have the option, the only option they would have, it couldn't even come from you all. It would have to go back to the voters of the 698 voters that were still in the precinct. And they would have to call for a wet-dry vote if they wanted to change something out there. But the boundaries of our county haven't changed. The voting boundaries haven't changed. Where you vote hadn't changed. Nothing's going to change. Just the area previously known as Swallowfield is dry. And I wanted to make record of that in the court. But I want to say this wasn't for lack of us coming and trying to do it in a hurry. It took me, that book was upstairs, it was one of your order books, it was behind 2 other books, there was a lot of searching because we had some type of idea of the time frame. But your all's order books were, and that's my goal for next year, we don't have an election, I'm going to reorganize all your order books, and whatever we can get digitally imaged, my goal is to get everything digitally imaged, even your order books, and start getting them in some type of safe storage area. Because this should have been something we could have researched in a very quick manner. It should have been something we could cross-reference, and we couldn't. There was no documentation, there was no map, there was no reading, there was no way for us to find the actual information to tell whether it was wet or dry. We had no contradiction to tell us that it was a dry precinct. So I wanted to bring that to your all's attention, let you know what we have done, and let you know that the county and Chief Deputy Kennedy also is the ABC coordinator, I believe. Is that correct? So he would know, and he has that boundary outlined at this point. So anybody that would file would not be allowed to file, and we're also refiling with the ABC with that perimeter. So this is more of an update, how we got there, what happened, why we got there, and what we did to correct the situation. Is there any questions on that particular? Because I've got several different things to go over.
So Jeff, you'll do all that after the November election, correct?
Yeah, really there's nothing to be done. We're refiling with the ABC, for the Swallowfield, and I've got to draw them an exact border precinct, which we will go by the record of choice of 2020 elections. We will take that precinct line and we give it to them in a shape file. Ben Judah doesn't know this yet, but he gets to help me with that. So we are going to take it into a shape file, and then we'll send it as the dry district for the area. It's, quite frankly, it's filing paperwork to avoid anybody without a petition. If the people's choice, which is how we got here originally, were to do something different, that would be a totally different, we would be having a different conversation. You had a question?
Martinez?
Just one brief question. Where does the precinct start going north out 127?
It starts on the left-hand side, right past the BP on Owington Road.
Past the BP?
Mm-hmm.
So past Steels Branch?
Well, I don't think it's gonna affect anything that's currently there.
It does not have, there is no liquor license currently in the Swallowfield precinct.
I'd say that's why that BP was built there,
I would assume you'd be correct.
before that district.
Yeah,
All right, let's keep moving. You got more updates?
I do.
Yep.
Absentee voting portal, let's talk about that a little bit. I know you all think that I'm beating you all to death with elections this early, but guys, it's never too early to think about this. The absentee portal opens September the 21st. I'll give you a prime example of why the community needs to know this. Miss Antonucci just walked in, and the first thing she said to me is, my daughter's in Oregon at school. I need to know when I can order her ballot. And I told Robin, I said, the very first thing you need to do is order it on the first day it's open. It takes 7 days to get it across the country, 7 days to get it back. That's 14 days. It gives us plenty of time to get them processed. Your elderly community, your college community, anybody that is unable to come in person and vote, we need to make sure that they can get a ballot just as well. They have the same rights as everybody else, so we need to make sure that we're getting it out to them. Guys, I'm expecting between 1,100 and 1,400 mail-in absentee ballots for this election. So it's really important that we do our job to make sure they get to the voter, they get back to us, and they get counted correctly. Any questions on that? Because that is open from September the 21st, and it closes October the 22nd. It closes a lot sooner than most people realize. Why does that happen? Because we have to have processing days to get everything processed and put through. One more quick thing, and I'm going to hand these out. I won't take a whole lot of time on this, but for the last 5 years, FCC, which is Franklin County Clerk's office, has done the Raising Hope. It's a breast cancer awareness. It's why I'm wearing pink today. It's what we have done as our fundraiser. We pick 2 local folks every year. This year's recipient is Savannah Blandford and Tamara Reynolds. Tamara works over at the courthouse. Both of these are very young, vibrant people that I'm asking you to help get out there and help us get some donors. Our goal sounds lofty, but it's not. It's $10,000. We would like to give $5,000 to each participant this year. We've been able to do that for the last 2 years. We can make a difference. These are young people that are in the fight for their lives. The breast cancer awareness and the lunching is something that I started 5 years ago. My mom passed away with breast cancer in 2018. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart, but I hope you'll help me with it. I hope you'll come to the lunch. It's a great lunch that we have. We have it every year at the Carter House. And I'm going to hand out some flyers, and then I'll get out of here unless anybody's got any questions.
Any questions for Jeff?
Thanks, guys.
Jeff, thank you. Appreciate everything your team's doing, getting ready for the election. And you're right, it's coming faster every year, it seems like.
That cost all my gray hairs.
All righty.
Some of the guys. This place cost money.
All righty. Jeff, thanks again. Now I'm going to ask Amy to come up, I believe, and we are going to talk about fun stuff.
Thank
Good evening.
you.
How are you doing, Amy?
Good. I'd asked Judge if I could come before you to discuss what the will of the court is concerning setting the real property tax rate. And this will also determine if we need to hold a special hearing. The assessed value for real property is $3,939,328,339. This is an increase of $152,613,694 from last year. Based on that number, the Department of Local Government has determined that the compensating rate is 0.182%. The compensating rate is designed to maintain the same revenue as the previous year, despite the change in property value. And I've created a chart in your packet showing the compensating rate up to a 4% increase. So if there are any questions or concerns, we can address those or discuss them. If not, can we proceed with agreeing on a tax rate that will be presented at the next court? And our current rate is 0.184%.
So we're going, can I ask a question?
Squire Tanner?
To clear up this discussion so I know what I'm discussing, we need to come to a consensus on what the tax rate should be without a resolution until later on some other time. Or do you want
Right.
a resolution on that today?
No, I just would like for us to have the discussion to come up with a rate so that I can present that for a vote next court and possibly a special hearing next court, before next court.
Just elaborate, if you will, Amy, for the public and anyone else. If we take the compensating rate, we don't have to have a public hearing, correct?
Correct.
If we take anything above that, including our existing rate, which is above that,
That's correct.
we have to have a hearing.
Yes.
And where did, we have a proposed rate, I don't know who proposed came from, but the proposed rate is maintaining it at the existing rate that we have currently.
Yes. And that proposed rate is just my recommendation. And as I did last year, I recommend we not go below that, just to maintain at the 0.184%.
And I'll start it off. I think Amy's doing a fabulous job as our treasurer. I don't think anybody on this court should say anything different. When Amy and I talked about this, that was her recommendation, was to stay at the 184. So I'm going to support our treasurer on that decision. So I'll start it off, but the floor is open. Go ahead, Squire.
I'll go next. I appreciate the hard work Amy does and the numbers she's come up with. But if you look down on the bottom row, she has increased, put the amount of money it costs for a $100,000 home, which I don't know what the average price of a home is, but if it's $400,000, you're talking $20 a year more for the 4%. If you have that at I don't know what percent it would be, but the 1.188% rather than the 1.89, which would be somewhere less than the maximum amount you could raise it up, you're talking about $4 for $100,000. So if your house costs $400,000, you correct me anytime my number's wrong, Amy, because I'm figuring off in my head a little bit. That's $16 a year more. Buffalo Trace has just started reducing their amount of money, and within 10 years, it's $1.3 million this year. By then, that's how much money we're going to be down. This does not anywhere near replace that money. And 10 more years on top of that, that's going to be $15 million that we've lost. And we got to make up somewhere. Everybody says, well, and to the judge's credit, he keeps, if we grow economy, we grow all, it still doesn't make any difference. We're going to grow the economy anyway. So we're going to lose that. I don't know how you can figure out we're going to raise it over here, but we're still going to lose this, and we have to make that up. And so I personally would like to see that at way far more than that, 1.88, which is not 4% increase. That's my spiel, and I'm sticking by it.
Amy, I should have asked you before, but do you remember or recall, or do you have any facts of what the tax rate has been over the last, say, 5 years? Did you ever look at that?
I do, I don't have it with me.
I recall that the previous court dropped the tax rate multiple years in a row, which in my mind, part of the reason I was against last year's budget, because it left us with a deficit. Again, we've budgeted this year, although we did really well last year. We never know what the economy's going to bring. We again budgeted with a deficit of over $1.5 million this year, really not taking into account what that Buffalo Trace deficit's going to do to us in, as Mr. Tanner said, in the next couple of years. Every advisor I've ever had on what to do the best for your community is to take the maximum amount you possibly can do to build what your public wants. You know, our community wants so many amenities, and we have so many maintenance issues and bridges and everything that need to be done in this community, and we're hamstringed by not having the funds to do it, even though we're trying desperately, I think, to build our local base and get some new revenues in. But I would support Squire Tanner's recommendation.
Can I go back again?
Sure.
I had he walked in the door, what made me think about it, Chief Brewer and I had a conversation yesterday or day before. I guess it was, I don't remember what day it was, recently, okay? With the new emission controls on diesel engines, the next fire truck's gonna be well over $1 million because of the increased cost for building that. That if we continue to grow everything in this county the way people want it to grow, you can't do it on a wish. And we're not asking for much, $4 per hundred, and most houses would not be $400,000. If they did, that'd be $16 a year. If you want to break that down to a day, you can. I don't know what the average value of a house is. We'd have to get the PVA to tell us that, or maybe Amy might know. I don't know. But I'm certainly not taking anything away from Amy and her numbers. I know they're correct. And I just think we need to be planning down the road for the loss we're going to take. We don't have to spend the money, but if we don't have it, we may have to borrow it. We're in great financial shape. I understand that, but that's the way we stay that way.
Thoughts from the other members of the court? Squire Blackburn.
Well, I appreciate Squire Tanner's words and totally understand them, and I know that we're going to have a shortfall with Buffalo Trace. I don't like the idea of taking the tax money that we would have gotten from them and putting it on the taxpayers of our county. I know we've got about $5 billion in property, and $1 billion of it is owned by government entities. So we have a little disparity in our property tax that a lot of communities don't have because they're not like we are. I know in the last 5 rates that I've been on, we've kept it flat 3 times and lowered it twice. Contrary to what Mr. Wisman said, being $1 million over every year, we're actually 1.4 million over in the last 5 years. We've never lost money. And the way the budget falls in the fiscal year and the way it falls and the way things carry over, a good understanding of that will bring you to that conclusion. So, you know, I told my constituents when I ran, I'm not into raising taxes. I'm into growing the community and the quality of life through growth and targeted, smart growth. And I feel like we've made steps in that direction and strides in that direction. So I agree with our treasurer, and I'd like to keep her proposed rate.
Any other discussion?
With all the property that Buffalo Trace is buying down Wilson Boulevard, is their tax base not going to increase?
It will.
I mean, depending on what they put in and what they do.
Correct.
Not necessarily. It's existing property. It's already taxed. If they don't approve it in a way that necessarily change their tax rate.
I've had some conversations, but yeah, it's confidential, but yeah.
I'm not gonna be, I've got my neck stuck out, and that's fine, because it's for $16 a year. I think that's a very minimal amount to keep this county as sound financially as it is, and the people on this court's done a great job, and the treasurer's done a great job to keep it that way. We've got great investments, and we got some more of that today in this packet to make, and I'm sure gonna make them, but I really can't understand why that we would push back when we're wanting a swimming pool indoor. We're wanting a park with 5 fields in that, and we're supposed to spend ARCA money. We're gonna spend quite a bit of that tonight, so I don't know what that leaves us to make up when we get to that point. I don't like to kick things down the road. I like to keep up. Now, down in the future, maybe we'll see a way out of the barrel tax being gone, if we can figure out how we can put inventory tax on the barrel and not the liquor. Maybe that's not avenue. But there's lots of things that need to be discussed, and I'm talking probably out of school, and I'm not sure about it. And I'm not trying to pick on them either, because they mean a lot to the community. They're bringing a lot of tourism dollars and et cetera, but they also are making quite a bit of money. Good for them. I feel like we need to be prepared, but that's me.
Question. Madam Treasurer, is the assessed value, is that the assessment, last year's assessments?
No, yes, that's the 2024
2020,
assessment.
2024 assessment?
So that's what the bills
I know
will be
they
based off of.
previously had the county in 4 quadrants, and they do a quadrant a year on reassessing. And I know with a new PVA in office, I've had conversations with him. Although it's $4 on paper, when their house assesses higher, it's going to be more than that. And a lot of time, that inflation on their home and that price goes into my thinking on this. Their taxes are going up when we keep the number flat, because of the value of their home goes up. So that's just what my thinking is.
Well, I don't disagree with that. Maybe I shouldn't get too deep in this discussion. I wouldn't call it an argument.
No, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think you both have valid points, but to JW's point, I do think since our PVA's in there, there's a lot of money that things have been under assessed that we're finally getting to that we're going to see a lot bigger return than we have in years past.
That was my question on Buffalo Trace. Have they been reassessed for?
They haven't had a flower since 2008.
That's where I'm at.
And I just don't want to pick on one person.
No, I understand that.
I don't like to do that
The whole
either.
community,
I think that the community
Yep.
is benefited well because of Buffalo Trace and the
Yep.
state government and anything else that's here. But you still gotta look forward and not backward and hope that all that stays the same, because it won't. And if we want to keep good police protection, good fire protection, good community parks, everything to be good as it is now, and the people was here before I would, done a great job doing that, and there's a big reserve. But to keep a reserve and to keep growing, I think we should pay $16 a month more. I mean, a year, it's not a month.
What other thoughts?
And if I could share with the court, going from the proposed rate to the 0.188% would give the county additional revenue of $182,937. Very small.
Very small.
Yeah, you said 182, I'm sorry, I'm over here trying to do some calculations.
182,937.
You say that's small, but that's raises for every county staff member 2 years in a row. I mean, we're competing state, federal, city governments for the same employees. We're seeing that time and time again with our transition and our employment, and I just want to make sure we have enough money to go around. Judge, maybe a little out of turn, but I think there's a bigger problem that we need to look at, and about how we make up that shortfall that we're losing from Buffalo Trace. I personally want us to sign up with other counties that all produce bourbon to create a lobbying entity that goes after an option to create a special taxing district for bourbon producers that allows us to tax them at a different rate, which is allowed for about 10 other options, but currently not for that. For the emergency services, specialized equipment, specialized training, all those things that we have to provide in our county to produce that material. And we've had, fires and river floods of bourbon in just recent years that we all remember very distinctly, that we need to have ample equipment, training, other things to manage these disasters that inevitably come. They say they're once every 100 years or something, but it seems like we're having one every 5 years anymore. I think it's high time that the legislature give us the ability to tax those districts in some which way that we can create around those producing entities that does not have to push the burden onto our taxpayers who are already paying for the roads, the infrastructure, everything else to produce those. And we did get a sizable benefit all of these years, but we're losing that, which is going to greatly decimate our ability to do anything new other than maintain our existing levels.
Okay, that's a whole other conversation, but
Yeah,
yes,
but
I'm not opposed
pertinent to bring it up
yes. Yep. Alrighty, so we only have a couple magistrates left, and let's not forget this is just for a year. So, if we decide next year to do something different, no harm, no foul. And I do think the numbers that are coming in right now are a whole lot higher than we've ever seen. So, to Squire Blackburn's point, everyone's homes are being reassessed right now, and you all know as well as I do, what the homes are selling for in Frankfurt right now are crazy compared to what they've ever been in history. So even if we're to leave it the same, we're still getting a lot more money.
That's really my worry, is that people are gonna be assessed so much higher. I think it's gonna be a little shocking, honestly. And so I'm a little concerned about doing anything else that's gonna cost people more money right now, because people are having a hard time feeding their kids right now, so.
I'm not mad, or my philosophy is it's $16. I don't see that really being, I don't think that's an excessive increase in their taxes by $16. It's a $400,000 home. If you got a $500,000 home, it's $20.
Right.
Which is about $4,000 a year,
But
a little
my,
over.
I see here.
but my
Talking about
point
that
is
size
that
house.
they're already gonna have an increase. I think it's gonna be a little shocking for some people, because property, it's just, oh my gosh, the assessments, I can't even imagine.
The school
I know what
assessment
they're
raises
saying.
almost every single year.
Yeah, so I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I want to keep us safe and make sure we have enough for everything, but I'm just a little concerned about our people having to pay more right now. It's a hard time right now.
Well,
So I think we need to kind of get something to Amy, because what we did last year is we had a public hearing, but we really didn't have a rate set, so we kind of did it backwards last year. So we're trying to give her some guidance so we're in compliance. So Squire Sebastian, or I guess Squire Harry, we haven't kind of heard from both of you all as far as where
I need to do some math, because there are multiple taxing districts here in our county, not just us. So I need to do a little bit of math before I weigh in on this. Getting the sheet and not being able to do, I've been trying to do some math over here, but, so. I'd like to have a little bit of time to do that, and I can meet with you to discuss that.
but she's gonna need direction from the court,
I
I think.
understand.
Yeah.
But until I have time to do that,
Yeah.
I'm shooting from the hip, and I'm not
Well,
going to do that.
we're all shooting a little bit from the hip, but, excuse me,
going to do
sir.
Go ahead.
The tax bill that I get in the mail is, a lot. But the county portion of that is not so much. The schools on there, the state's on there, all the special districts that get a taxing rate are on there, which is the health department and library and the conservation department, all those are on there. And so I'm only talking about the county part of that money, which is less than a fourth, probably, somewhere in that neighborhood. How it is shoot from the hip, because I don't know how much that is, but it's not it's not the sizable bite, because that goes to schools. then the next is the state, and then probably then us. And maybe the library to help, but they set their own rates. They came here, they come here for us to approve them, but they basically set their own rate.
Amy, let's talk dates now. When do we need to know this?
Clerk, for a special hearing, how long do we need to advertise?
We need to advertise 7 days before the hearing.
Okay, so the hearing would be the 28th. So that would put us having to advertise on the 21st, is that right?
We only have one meeting next month, correct?
28th, one more. We got one more,
Yes, and
28.
we have 45 days to set this, or it goes to the compensating rate. So that's,
Oh, well,
we're working with a deadline here as well.
But, okay, so I remember working on this last year,
Well, if
but
we're
I
gonna lose
want to
this
make sure I'm
time,
right. We're going to have a
186.
hearing either way.
If we, yes,
Yes.
The way
unless
it's
we
looking,
go with
there's
the
no one said
compensating rate.
compensated rates, I think regardless.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what,
Yeah, regardless.
and in the art of negotiation politically, would you all go with 186? Which is $2.
Let me finish the, if you
Oh, I'm
mind,
sorry.
the question here, what I was asking Amy. So how the dates looking? When does this offer be done?
So we
It would
would
have to
need,
be in the paper by the 21st.
what's the deadline for the paper?
It will have to be submitted on no later than the 16th.
Okay, and I'm on vacation next week, so. If you, do we need to have another
I'm not gonna be a
meeting?
stick in the mud. I'll just withdraw the 188. Let's make it 186. That's $2.
Well, either way, it sounds like we need to have a hearing if we can get scheduled and.
Well, the hearing and the advertisement has to have the rate in it.
Yes.
I'm just saying, we can agree, we need to have a hearing. I think that's agreed upon.
Well,
Everyone
don't-
sounds like
well,
they're
yeah.
going with your proposal or above, which is above the compensating rate. So we get that out of the way, let's figure out the dates. We only have 2 meetings, again, 8 weeks, 7.5 weeks.
We
Before
don't.
we would have, we may
No.
need a special meeting, I'm saying.
No, this is it. This is the last meeting before the 28th is the deadline for us to
Right here.
decide.
So this is just for the year. Why don't we stick with this year? Get our ducks in a row, get everything together, and propose the rate next year.
Well, I'm not gonna be sideways about it, because Amy says this'll work.
That's my point.
But, I know, I have 100% confidence that she is right. It'll work. But I also feel like that, we need some flexibility to look at possible things that we might need. It's not gonna put us in a strain because we have a good reserve. But we're not if we don't plan for the future. But anyway, that's the way I feel about it. We need to stay ahead of the loop. But, I'm only one person, that's for sure.
Amy, could you give us the numbers of your, what the increase would be countywide at the proposed rate? 1.88, you had 182,937.
Yeah, well, here's a number, these 2 numbers here.
Is it on here?
Well, you have
I'm
to
not
subtract
sure.
them, but they're on.
What was your question again?
It should be like 148,000 or so. The 0.184, your proposed rate, what increase total would that be?
Well, it'd be from 6.658 million to 6.732 million, wouldn't it?
Not to cut anybody off, but I think we have 4. Did I count right? I'm not trying to, if not, you're 184, 184.
I'm for the proposed rate
How
for
we
this year.
recommend everybody speak to the PBA. I think it gives you a more broad understanding of what we really are looking at. These are based on the numbers that we have. We have numbers coming that are going to be different.
I know in talking to Will, he's found a lot of things that were way under that are gonna come in a lot different this year, so.
But if it's 4 people here for it, that's the end of the discussion, it'd be 1.84. But, and I'm not gonna sit up here and say that's a mistake. I just, have my philosophy runs we should be prepared for the future, and I don't know that we are.
Okay, so we'll arrange the special hearing with the 0.184%. Okay.
But it's actually, Sherry
Thank you
never
all.
has said she's number 4, technically.
Peaceful,
She hasn't said.
Peaceful,
Yeah.
okay.
peaceful. Sherry said math. Sherry said math very clearly, so Sherry's gonna do math.
Already.
And then she'll know.
This is I'm going to bring you all up to speed on the judge's report. I do want to thank Charlie Pearl again for coming and giving our blessing today. Today we had Administrative Services Committee meeting. It was very good. I want to thank Ashley for our new HR director. I keep calling her new, but I don't think she's new anymore, no disrespect. Doing a great job, and I appreciate Squire Tanner, Squire Sebastian, working with her. Trying to bring all that stuff up to speed. Road Committee met. We had a really good meeting at the Road Department. As Duke said earlier, I feel like the project is on schedule. We're moving along, and I think in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see some big changes down there. So I think the big push is to be done by winter, and I believe we're gonna hit that no problem. Last week, the mayor, Penny Peever, David Loudmills on KCDC, Jack and I attended a big economic development summit up there in French Lick, Indiana. Pretty cool place, but met people from all over the country. It was a really good thing to talk about how everybody's working on housing and different things that we need to make this community work. Ribbon cutting, if you all haven't seen it or heard about it, the Blanton's Landing, down there's a picture right there, down in the old historic, I don't call it Crumball building. Really cool thing that they're doing for the community, and tours and different like those for downtown, a speakeasy, garden and things like that. So super nice couple there in the middle that saw the need for a cool thing in Frankfurt, and they decided to open a business, so I think that's great. Next, I should have you all speak on this, the Spellaloozа, you know what I mean? This has been the, third year? Second? Oh, come on, second year that we've put a team up, and there you see the picture right there, and I know Squire Sebastian was there also, because she's on the board there, but you can see the team right there, and I'm proud to say they made it pretty far, you know, the fourth spelling. What was the word again?
Heavy duty round.
It was heavy duty.
It's been beautiful, I know that.
Yeah.
What it meant, I can't think of it.
So, but it was a great night. I know it's a huge fundraiser for Thornhill, and I think we all know how much Thornhill does for our community. I think there's 17 teams this year, biggest fundraiser of the year. So we want to thank Kelly Anderson and everybody that helped put that on. Very cool thing. Upcoming events tonight actually is a national night out. I know it's downtown between 5:30 and 8:30. There's a lot of cool things for kids as everybody's getting ready to go back to school, and I believe our independent schools have already gone back, so hopefully they'll have some good attendance there tonight. There's a regional Commerce Lexington. They're focused on economic development region. The meeting's going to be great. It's kind of when the different counties come together and cities, and they all talk about how they can help each other and move Kentucky and Central Kentucky forward. Tomorrow starts the Governor's Local Issue Conference. I know a bunch of us will be there. Some of us will be there. I know the Governor's going to be speaking there on Thursday. That's up in Louisville. And now I am going to take a moment to invite Autumn Gooderwis up. She is our new Planning and Zoning Director, and we want to welcome you to the Franklin County Fiscal Court family. And I ask Autumn to say a few words to everybody or to anybody out there in TV land.
Hello. It's really great to meet all of you.
That was it. Thank you.
No.
Good to see you.
I am coming to you from Lexington. I worked in the Division of Planning there for the last 8 years. Prior to that, I worked for the state for a few years in building codes enforcement, doing plan review. Originally from Western Kentucky, and I've been living in Frankfurt for about 11 years now, so commuting back and forth, and I'm really excited to be working in the community where I live and to help guide development in Franklin County. Seems like it's a really exciting time to be here, so I'm looking forward to working with you all. If you need anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out. My office is in the corner up front. Give me a call. Any questions for me?
Squire Blackburn.
Is your back sore from carrying us at the spelling bee?
So I have to admit, it was probably a little cruel, and Amy says I did this to her last year. You know, we kind of first week on the job, and it's like, hey, can you spell autumn? You're on a team Friday night. Yeah. Amy swears I did that to her last year, and I've had to apologize. I didn't realize I did that. So I'm there at the event, and she looks over and she goes, how's this going to turn out? My first couple days on the job, and I said, do me a favor. Just don't go out in the first round. That's all I ask, guys. Don't go out in the first round.
She carried us.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I just want to say you're coming into a really great team. You have a phenomenal team that's going to coalesce, I think, around you, and you'll be able to work with some really great people that have a tremendous amount of knowledge. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you all can do together as a team, because I see it, a true team there.
All righty. Again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, with that, we'll get moving here. Any comments on the minutes from the July 24, 2024 meeting? All righty, seeing none, I believe, the jail is here. Looks like Laura, Tracy, Matt, are y'all coming up together? Matt's got this? Okay. No pressure. No pressure, Matt. Can you give a little, I probably know what this is and some people do, but can you go ahead and just give a quick brief of what all this is about?
Okay, so one of them is the dormitory. There's some insulation issues that need to be discussed. This is an authorization to approve, to get quotes, or to have the dorm spray foam.
And just to clarify, this is the dorm that we're looking to house the SAP program,
This is a SAP and
correct?
SOAR program.
So it's not currently being used, it's the one that's been vacant for years and you all are getting it up to shape. Just want to make sure everybody understands that, we're all on the same page. So this is something that would need to be done before we could accept any inmates.
Yes.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. And so the reason that it says no financial impact is because we're only getting bids, right? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure everybody understands,
No,
because it very clearly says there's no financial impact.
That'd be nice, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be
this is-
really
yeah.
nice.
Any
Just
other?
'cause it's for bids.
Squire Wisman.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge, actually, we met, Squire Tanner and I went out and explored the facility again recently and mainly focused on these couple of bids coming up tonight. And I have to say, I don't support spray foam, and I told them at the time in here. The attic of this thing has, unfortunately, a lot of the utilities ran through, the gas lines, water lines, for whatever reason, electrical, some of the old HVAC systems are all up there. Someone at one point in time punctured holes in the roof, which is why we are needing insulation, because water had been getting in and collecting. I just see it causing more problems long-term, and I'm thinking a better solution needs to be found, which I suggested would be in my opinion, would be sort of an access walkway through the attic that is walled in, where the mechanicals can be easily maintained from spray insulation. In a system like this, it's effectively a Morton building with wood against prefabbed studs or prefabbed roof trusses. I just see it causing probably longer term problems, and we need to have a discussion about how long that facility is going to last anyway, because it's been a kind of a problematic thing for
Matt,
a
do you
while.
want to reply to Squire Wisman's concerns there?
But I won't be supporting that.
So the only other way that you are looking at insulating this building would be to completely remove the roof, put pole barn typed insulation with the white backing over top the roof trusses for it to stay. And it molds.
Well, Matt, tell us what was there.
There's nothing there right now.
What was there before?
There was old stuck-up buttoned insulation. Yeah, batten insulation.
So on this spray foam bid, is it going to be total envelope? Is it going to be ceiling, or is it going to be roof?
It'll be the roof and the sides.
And walls.
Everything that is open to the exposed elements from outdoor. So
So is there a ceiling in there?
Yes, there is a ceiling.
So it really won't affect any mechanicals unless they're going through the roof.
Exactly.
Okay.
What was the reason to take the old insulation out? You said it got moisture in it?
That was a problem with the previous maintenance director. They decided, I guess, to save some money when they put a new roof on that building. I'm guessing at the time of the fire, they decided the maintenance director would put the roof on to save the county some money. And when that happened, the insulation was not put back. It was just thrown onto the ceiling of the dorm. So any insulation that had got wet or anything like that had actually laid up in the attic and molded.
So it was old insulation that they reused. So we're not saying we have any roof leaks that's causing the insulation that needs to be fixed before the spray foam is done.
So I got up in there this past big heavy rains that we had, and there's no current leaks in that dorm.
But you have fixed some, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
there were several
before.
fixes.
That was my question.
Yes.
If we had a leak through the roof, if we fixed that problem and then spray foamed it,
I thought you,
that was my,
And that's what they said, we'll fix that, but we can fix that.
sure, yeah, yeah,
We can fix that.
no problem. I just want to clear my mind around why it was wet to begin with.
Yeah, they had roof leaks,
Okay.
yeah. And where they haven't used it in years, nobody's paying attention.
Gotcha.
And instead of removing the insulation that had got wet during those roof leaks, they left it lay up on
So it
top
was
of,
just laying there.
laying up
everything was
around the
leaking on it.
ceiling, and it was molded and nasty.
So
We
if
took
the
about
roof's
a,
fixed, then it's
Which
we
is why we
actually took
had,
about a week.
why we had pipes burst because they were not fully
Yes, so that's,
insulated.
in doubt while we spent all this money and had these two big insurance claims, or three, however many we had, because we didn't have no insulation up there. All the water lines, so the water lines come out of the jail, go straight into the dorm floor, come up through in between two studs, and they branch off from there at a 2.5 inch water line.
2.5 inch.
2.5 inches.
Big water line.
With the lines are that run over to the dorm. So
For 8 showers,
if we,
4 laundries.
8 showers, 4 washers, 4 utility sinks,
8 toilets.
12 regular sinks, and 8 toilets, yes.
Squire Tanner, do you have a question? I think I saw
well,
you.
I did, I guess I misunderstood part of the meeting we had the other day. I thought someone said, maybe I dreamed it, that the roof had holes in it where they would use screws and missed the studs, and that's where it was leaking. Did you fix those?
So the studs.
Or did I
that-
misunderstand what somebody?
Yes, so the studs that were missed, we went back and siliconed over those. It turns out that there was only about 14 holes that needed, or screws that needed to be siliconed over for us to stop any leaks that may happen.
So that's been done since, excuse me.
I said, when you went up there during the rain, the holes that you had fixed,
Yes.
you had no more water problems.
Everything is sealed, it's completely dry.
That's what that's what I was trying to say.
Squire Blackburn.
So you just took the screws out and silicone the hose?
Screws out, silicone hose, put the screws back in it.
All right. Did you put any backing behind them like wood? And
No, there's
fasten
no
them?
backing behind it.
You may want to think about that before you put that insulation on there. Hold those screws secure and hold that rubber washer tight. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's keep moving then, please.
So the next one is the concrete at the dorm. There's a outdoor rec area that is behind the dorm, backs up to the cliff. The concrete is a very, very big trip hazard that we're going to face due to the old weathering age of the materials, cracks in the concrete, stuff like that. My recommendation, obviously, would be to tear it out and report. The problem I'm facing, and I've talked to a couple different people, is getting access to the area with a concrete truck or even a pump truck.
Get a pump truck? Be hard to get a pump truck?
A pump truck can't get up there.
So you do a line pump?
That's what I'm gonna try to reach out
Yeah.
to several contractors to see if it can be line pumped.
How big of an area is it?
It is like
Outside
3,100 square foot.
So
So
not huge.
it's not huge, but it's where they go out to wreck, and it is mandatory that they have wreck, so.
Is it heaved and cracked, or is it just pitted, or?
It's
It's
mostly
cracked
the,
and pitted, and there's four or five cracks in it, and it's pitted real bad, and some of the pits are about 3/4.
it's mostly that it was a poor pour, I think, in the first place, so we've got some crevices and some, some areas that have lost that are up to 2 inches deep, I would say, that have just spalled in the weather, and it is a major tripping problem.
It definitely needs repair.
All right, everybody good with them putting that out for bid?
Matt, could you just explain, this is for a whole new pour? When we were up there, we were talking also about a fill and an epoxy coating,
Yes,
but
so
you decided you want to go with a new full removal and new pour of concrete
so
in kind?
I was gonna reach out and accept all bids to repair or re-pour this concrete.
We're not going out of business, are we?
No.
So we need new floor, right?
Absolutely.
Can we alter your public notice then, because it talks about removal and installation of concrete? I think if you want to explore those options, we need to broaden the scope of the bid.
My suggestion would be to, for the court to approve it upon the judge signing off on that, because of the time crunch that we're in. So the concrete can be done while the ladies are in the dormitory. The spray foam, however, cannot be. So we are on a extreme time crunch to get that done. And then, so hopefully we can reach out, get it done, and be ready for September 1st. But September 1st is coming very quickly.
I think Squire Wilson's point, instead of saying removal and installation of concrete, could you do something like,
Or repair or
Removal
replace,
or repair, yes.
repair, removal,
Yeah.
or replacement.
yeah, or alternative solution or something?
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be a matter of changing that a little bit and then
Yeah.
get that out in the morning.
They may even want to bid a higher density concrete, like highway grade. It's negligible on the cost of the concrete, it doesn't cost anything but labor. And it deters them from adding water to it and causing the spalling in the end, because everybody adds water to it, makes it workable, and then it breaks.
Yeah, concrete.
It's really in a bad location, honestly. I mean, because it backs up to a cliff, and we all know that the quarry's right down the road, they blast.
Yeah.
Even if you poured it 6 or 8 inches thick, I don't know that we'd ever stop it from cracking.
Once it's graded, it cracks, it's concrete.
Exactly.
Just having proper steel in it, maybe fiber mesh, or having a higher grade concrete.
Yes.
Ordering a big slump with higher concrete, that way you don't have to add water.
Just
Pumping it is gonna make it, the workability tough.
So the thing about that is, on this, so we're going to price the materials are going to be paid for by the jail. And so that'll leave us more of labor and stuff like that.
Judge, while we're talking about it, because I've said it a couple times while we're at the jail, I'd like to make a directive that we buy a few, I don't think they're called seismograph, but ground disturbance. I'd like us to be able to get some readings up there. Some cracks in that jail facility, generally, that I'm concerned may be being impacted by the quarrying efforts that are going on there, and I would like to understand, for anything in the future, if that is part of it, exactly what it's causing. There's one significant crack right in the middle of the building I'm concerned about. I'd just like to get some of this.
They'll do it.
Okay.
Because when they have people that make inquiries, they'll do it. And it's an outside testing agency that they report what they report. It's not,
I'd like us to do it, just to monitor what the impact
Make a
is.
note of that, Matt, maybe to contact Harrod, Max or somebody down there and just tell them you have some concerns.
I find they work really well there.
Yep. Alrighty, next one, epoxy.
And then this next one is epoxy flooring and the walls inside the kitchen. That was a big thing that we looked at last year.
Yeah.
There's currently porcelain tile inside the kitchen. We hire a bunch of inmates to work in the kitchen. So this tile is getting old, it is brittle, it's starting to break off. It can be used as a weapon. That is the main point of getting it out of there. So what we're looking to do is go with a company to come in, tear all the tile off, and yes, and reseal the walls and the floor with epoxy.
Good. Matt, well, old tile should probably just be existing, but we talked about also repairing a drain that is too proud of the floor to function properly. I want to make sure we have that
Yes.
as part of the scope of the bid.
Yes.
It doesn't specifically say that to my liking here, I suppose.
So when we do this, when we tackle this project, that's going to be something that I'm going to take on. That we're not going to.
So it's not going to be within the scope of that?
That's something that I can handle.
Okay.
We're not going to pay to do that.
Just want to make sure.
And another thing to mention too, all three of those floor drains that we had looked at before that were supposedly not functional are functional now. So,
Amazing what a little maintenance does.
yeah, it's amazing.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we're good, Matt. Thank you. All right, this next one is, I'm gonna take the fall on this one. It's probably oversight on me. When Jailer Tracy was sworn in, I didn't even think about doing her bond. That's on me. Typically, when we all come into office, that's what the first thing we do in the first meeting. We run through CAECO, we do all that, and we vote on everybody's bond, and that was not done. So it was brought to my attention, and here we are. So this is standard, pretty much jailers that we've had in the past. I think it's probably what mine is also, would be set at. So again, that was my mistake. Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. My question has to do with the amount of the bond. I don't know how they're rated. I don't know the amount that it's set at. I know we've had this discussion previously in regard to constables. So my question's going to be, is this bond amount, is it enough for the reason that we're getting the bond?
Right.
Is it set at the appropriate rate? Just,
Maybe
and I don't even know
max a
who
little bit.
to ask that in the general
Yeah,
sense of,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, basically, we just looked back and saw what the last jailer was, and that's not to say that was right or wrong.
10,000 is the minimum.
10,000 is the minimum?
By KRS, it's a minimum.
Yeah, it's a minimum on KRS.
10,000 is the minimum.
So it at least has to be set at this. So again, my question is out there, and I don't know who to ask this of, but is this the appropriate amount? I mean, has to be the minimum has to be this.
Right.
Should it be something else? Given the nature of what this role is.
Right,
Just like it would be for the sheriff or those kind of roles.
right. Squire Tanner.
I likewise agree with Squire Sebastian. I don't know what the proper amount is. I know what the statute says
Yeah.
is minimum, but then it doesn't specifically say who sets it. But you can assume it'd be us. But the other question I would have is, the county is gonna pay for this bond if it's through an insurance company. I'm assuming are we responsible for paying for it?
We do, we pay for it.
So it's probably immaterial with the sheriff, what we set it at, because we're gonna have to pay for it. So the court, the county. So I'm not saying that 10,000 is enough or not enough, but I would ask that maybe we ask CAECO, are we buying this bond from CAECO? Is that who's furnishing the bond?
Seems like
Yes, all the previous jailer's bonds has went through CAECO.
Yeah.
So
So I'm gonna suggest, just me, for tonight's purposes, because again, it was my mistake that she's not bonded correctly right now. But if you all wanna do an audit of everybody, like the sheriff and things like that, I'm not opposed to that as far as looking to see if we need to adjust anything.
Well, once we have a bond, I don't know that we can adjust it midstream, can we?
yeah, that's what I thought we might be able to do.
That's what I think too.
Well, Judge, would that be this currently, it says, there was a notation in here, elected or appointed. In fact, this one's appointed until this position is formally elected in November and takes office in January, which at what time I would think we would have to do another bond at that point. Would that be correct?
No, so, Debbie Jackson, once the jailer won the election and there's no more opposition, and she is in that position, then she is the jailer. Yeah, she's the elected jailer. So the dates don't matter per se.
So could we amend this some way to say if someone can make that call to KCO and just kind of just get an idea of what the jailers, I mean, they may have an average. I just look at this and want to make sure that we're all covered the right way, that you're covered appropriately. I'm sure you're not going to argue with me.
I'm absolutely not going to argue.
Do you know,
I mean,
do you want to come up? Do you know, I mean, you just went to jail. I don't know if y'all talked about bonds and stuff. This is,
One of the things that Keiko had explained to me and some of the other jailers, what is the highest bond amount that you take out there? What is going to be in your kiosk of cash on hand through commissary, when people come in? In the past, we have not taken over a $10,000 bond. They would have to go down to the clerk's office and post anything higher. I have just learned that they have in the past taken higher than $10,000. At any given time, we could have $5,000-$6,000 in our kiosk that the public's coming in and putting in for their family. $10,000 was the copy that I had received for the last two, and that's why I filled it out in that manner. I didn't, because we don't have a lot of cash on hand. That's been the previous amount. And what was explained to me by Keiko was the last bond was not canceled, and we are due money on the last bond because it was paid up into 25.
oh, in the previous jailer.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we have money coming back on that premium that will go against, and I don't know, Kim, if they've sent you anything about that yet or not.
No, they haven't.
But that's what Keiko had explained to me last week, because I had to fill out that the previous person that sat in that chair left their term early, so we had to fill something out, and Laura had to witness that and put the date that they had exited the office. So Keiko said we are due a refund, and I don't know if that gets applied to, but the last two people that had sat in that chair had $10,000.
But I see where Squire Sebastian is,
Absolutely.
because I don't want to say that was
Absolutely.
the correct amount, because that was
Right.
previous administrations.
Because it's cash on hand, what we would have.
So did you tell Keiko when you talked to them that what your average is on hand and things like that? Or did
Yes.
they recommend an amount?
And they said the $10,000 amount, it's the policy of the jailer, sitting in the seat, how much money we will take.
Right.
I can say, hey, anything over $5,000, we're not going to have on hand here. That'll have to be taken at the courthouse. And that's at the jailer's discretion, how much bond that they take. It's set now, that $10,000 is what we take. I'm not opposed to you guys calling Keiko and saying, is it something that we should raise? And again, I want to say the premium was about $350 for the year. So if you pay it annually, you get a discount, then we're still owed a discount from July 1 until January 1.
Okay.
But
So,
yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
My question is,
And it can be, just like if the court were to pass it today for $10,000, we can say, Keiko, we need to do another application. We've decided, after you guys, talk to whomever, move it to $25,000. And we just And it's like you would do your insurance if you wanted to, pass that.
Or do we want?
You don't think so?
Or do we want to leave it where if I talk to Keiko, you all are comfortable with me setting whatever they tell us we
Yeah,
should do?
I don't
And then you
know.
come back and advise.
And I could just,
That would be
I could tell you all what we
the most
did.
prudent course of action, I think.
So that was not correct, Mr. Comley, what I was saying,
I believe it's when paid in office, when the bond is set.
and it can't be adjusted after that?
Microphone, please. Thank you.
That's why every so many years, when anybody takes into office, even if it's a new term after an election, even if it's unopposed, their bonds are set at that point in time. And so,
Right.
So you can't, you're saying you can't change them?
I would have to double check, but I'm thinking it is when they come into office. They're supposed to have the bond set when they come into office. And so every renewal or election, they have to renew that bond and change that bond.
But where she has not been bonded yet, it hasn't started. So what,
Technically, she should have this before taking office.
yes.
Yeah, we're behind the
That's
card
what I'm getting
anyway.
at. So if it's
Correct.
okay with the court, I mean, I can call Keiko in the morning, tell them exactly, or Tracy and I can call together, jailer, excuse me, and just, what if they say it should be 15, 20, 25, or 10, then that's what I'll
Correct.
sign, and then I'll let the court know. I mean, you all okay with that? I
If
just
we
don't
can't
wanna
change it, which I didn't know
not
you
do this,
couldn't
you
do.
know what I mean, like, because I'm
It
behind.
needs to be done.
Right.
It needs to be done.
Absolutely.
So, but we want to make sure that
Yeah,
That's right.
well, and I think she wants to make sure
Yeah,
too, because to
absolutely.
her point and my point, I mean, just because it was done that way in the past, doesn't mean it's right. Right, Squire?
Do we need to,
that's, you know.
Sorry,
why I
give you
asked.
the shot there.
Yeah, you know
Mis-
that's why.
Mr. Conley, do we need to authorize then to allow the judge to go ahead and take action on our behalf? Because we are out of
Yes.
compliance, up to
Yeah.
maybe a $100,000 bond, I'd be fine with. I mean, it's, the premium of which is fairly minimal. I'm fine to go ahead and take action.
But I think to the
do
jailer's
something.
point, I think if something got crazy like that, she could change the,
Well,
you know,
it's-
the amounts that she takes in, so. it
It's
wouldn't-
truly up to us, though, to set the bond,
Absolutely.
right, to whatever amount we feel comfortable in.
Yes,
It is.
it's
And I
not
would
her
say,
job.
you know, again, Capital City, there could be an instance where we take in 200 detainees that are each carrying $25,000 in their pocket that has to be taken away. I mean,
Yeah,
odder things have happened, right? We are a capital community that has many oddities at times, so I'd rather be more prepared than not.
There's a
but I
book,
think if it got to that
one-
point, she would
yeah.
feel better even saying.
Absolutely, I would,
Courthouse is
because
gonna take that money, not me.
Actually, yes, because we had someone post bond in the amount of $150,000 cash.
Really?
They had to, of course, do that at the courthouse.
Yeah, I would want it done
All
at
right,
the courthouse,
so-
I wouldn't want it.
So here's what I would advocate
Okay.
for, so with it, we can advance
Yeah.
our agenda tonight.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I would advocate that you all get on a call tomorrow with Keiko.
Yep,
Ask for an opinion based on the size of community,
Yeah,
et cetera.
yeah.
And then they give that to you, and then we set it at that, and then you communicate back with the court to
Yeah.
let us know the amount.
Perfect.
And in speaking with the county attorney, he can make sure that our motion tonight reflects what we've just discussed.
And I think, as Squire Wisman said, up to a certain amount, 100,000, 250, 500 million, whatever you all make the decision of.
But we can make sure that it's worded the
Somebody's gonna
appropriate
do
way
it in
to
the
cover
motion,
everything.
yeah, okay,
Yep.
Up to X.
yeah,
So,
okay. Everybody good with that?
Well, Judge, why don't we go ahead and make the motion here then, and we can vote on it in session? You
Well,
wanna do it
I
which
think
way?
we authorize the wording. The motion has to come in open court, and we're in a work
So
session.
what are y'all comfortable with? We'll go ahead and do the wording now since we're in work session, then we'll do the actual motion in
You
voting
got
session.
something for us there, County
Yeah,
Attorney?
yeah, Mr. County
If I
Attorney,
can have a few minutes to
okay,
we'll come back to that one.
all right.
I think we're good, thank
Which
you.
was why I was
Yes.
saying
Yeah,
that whole thing.
he's gonna work on that while we keep moving here. Alrighty, we good? Everybody good? Alright, alright, have fun now. Okay, so next, actually, this is a great one. I'm gonna invite Ben and Autumn to come up. This is the second reading about the, Epic Heritage Mixed Use District. Ben, take it away. Listen, I appreciate you reaching out to not only me, but to the court last week to ask if anybody had questions on this, because I think if you don't know what it is, it can be confusing, so.
Sure.
I know I've talked to you a bunch about it, so I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, and this zoning district will be unique compared to any other district that we have, so if there were questions, I would understand that it could be kind of confusing and So it didn't seem like we got anything, so I
I'm
think.
still asking one. Matter of fact, I'm asking two.
Go ahead.
All right. So can you describe this for the public's edification, the distinction between a text amendment, because that's what we're looking at, and other actions that come before us, just so that everybody understands what a text amendment does as opposed to other actions we see.
Sure.
I just think that's important for everybody to understand.
Right. So this is a text amendment. It will
Yep.
change the text of the current zoning code. This text as written does not currently exist in our code, and this being a legislative body has the authority to change that legally. It does require planning commission approval, which they have recommended approval, and I would hope that you all would take that into consideration. And other actions that you all typically see in front of this body would be like a zone map amendment. This is not a zone change. It isn't changing a zone. It is creating a district which an applicant could then apply for and then change the zone to if approved. So that's kind of the distinction between the two. Does that answer your question?
And we can, and this body can change the text of that.
Correct.
Just want to make sure everybody understands what that means. Okay. So the other question I had was on page 3 of this, item D. So my question is why would this not be approved by the planning commission instead of its chair or staff?
Page 3, I'm not seeing a D.
See.
Well,
It's
it's
the end of
because
D.
it's the end of D.
Oh, I see, down here
D
at the
starts on the
bottom.
page before, so it is in D. And then the item is C, the very
Planning
last
Commission.
paragraph. Uh-huh.
Planning Commission chairperson staff can review
Yep.
and have authority to approve of the
That's-
final development plan. Planning Commission does have authority to approve certain types of development plans, as does staff. There are certain development plans that do not require Planning Commission approval. This does have, if you read through that whole process, there are other steps that
There are.
involve a Planning Commission approval of like a concept plan. So we felt that by the time it got to that final phase, if without
Everybody
any
would have seen
significant
it.
changes, correct, that it would be approvable by the chairperson or by staff.
I got it. I'm just trying to make sure we're all on the same page and everybody understands the steps through this, because the reason I'm bringing it, because it's all brand new to us. And so everybody needs to understand what this brand new layer will do and how it has, all the steps it has to go through, because it'll be a little different.
Yes.
So, thank you.
You're up. Any other questions?
Ben, just a comment if I may. This does not, just for the public's knowledge, this doesn't change the zoning for any property in the county. This just creates a new option to explore something that is effectively mandated by federal law that we've never recognized in our policies currently. There are protected classes of properties, for example, historic, prehistoric, archaeological, sensitive wetlands, watersheds, areas that have unique or protected classes of plants and species. Currently, our language doesn't really recognize any of those things that our comprehensive plan tends to speak to quite often. So we've got a lot of work to do. This is a good first step. I'm excited to bring us into modern zoning and to recognize all those things that our citizens want and want to protect about our community that's unique to us, that unfortunately to date we've just not recognized or had any ability to. So I hope this is a good first step in that direction. So more just a comment, but I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that there is no specific property in the county whatsoever that would automatically get this distinction. They would still have to go back through, any property would have to go back to planning and zoning, request this zone change, be able to have a development plan reviewed by the public, the same process as always. So I've heard that confusion in the community a little bit as this has been talked about, so I want to make sure that's clear.
This does not change any zone. It'll create a district where somebody could apply to become that zone.
And Ben, off the top of your head, since we're talking about this, and I think that's a good point, Squire Wisman, talk about some of the agencies that help your team craft this. I know, preservation, things like that. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
City Preservation Officer Vicky was very helpful. She provided a lot of the historic preservation guidelines which was then reviewed by Craig Potts, the State Historic Preservation Office. So it has gone through, in my opinion, a very vigorous and thorough process to land where we ultimately did. When I first started drafting this, from where it ended up, two totally different documents. So it's been thoroughly massaged into what it is.
Well, you all should be proud of it, because it's a really cool thing, and I think it's going to make Franklin County very unique, hopefully in the near future. So, thank you.
Sure, you're
Anybody
welcome.
have any other questions for Ben and Autumn? I know y'all having fun here tonight, you know. Perfect, thank you. Alrighty, next I believe Chief Brewer is still with us.
Thanks, Judge. So
Are you buying us something, Chief?
we are getting rid of something. So,
Is that all you're gonna do here tonight?
yep, we've got,
Really? Thought I'd try, you know?
no promises on how much it's gonna bring, yeah. It may be
We
worth
get the
just
whole-
letting somebody take it for free.
I was wondering why Amy was smiling so much.
So, yeah, this one, if you've been to the fair the last several years, you've seen the older trailer we've had out there. So we were fortunate through the judge's office to be able to write a letter through Kentucky Emergency Management, get a new trailer for free earlier this year. You saw it at the fair this year and at the county birthday bash. So we're just looking to get rid of this old one, get it off our insurance, and let someone else have a few adventures in it.
Any questions or any we're gonna leave it right there.
I've tried to
Right
give-
there, Chief.
I've tried to give it to Ray Kenny, I've tried to
That
give it
probably
to
went the
Sheriff.
wrong direction, but yeah. Squire Wisman.
Judge, I believe that the KRS states that we can allow things that we'd like to surplus for donation to local charitable groups. I'd like to maybe add that here and start thinking about that in the future. Maybe there's a group in the community that could use that for some purpose, one of the schools, I don't know. I'm just bringing it up because that's a common thing to offer sometimes. Maybe the health department could use it as a remote response thing in the future, that there may be a little life left out of it for someone. So I'd like to authorize, and I know.
On this one, not much, yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that to anybody.
Yeah.
You never know
But we
who.
have,
But we've done that, we did that recently with the Jeep that we had
Yeah.
at Lakeview Park. So we have had a past history of doing those things.
Trailers are sort of hard to come by and fun sometimes, that there may be a charity in town that could use it for a little while.
Okay.
I'd just like to add that in the language, gov deals or donation to local charity
And
or
if
something.
anyone's aware of a charity that would be interested, it's sitting at Swatcher Fire Station, be happy to haul it wherever they would like it.
All right, Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I believe Ally is with us.
No question.
How are you doing tonight, Ally?
Good evening, members of the court. What I have here is an agreement to authorize the waste tire collection event here in Franklin County this year. That's hosted by the state, the Division of Waste Management. And the date that they assigned us is October 17th through 19th for that collection. They secure the contractor for disposal and tire recycling. So the division handles all of that. The only thing I'm requesting is if we want to do a newspaper ad, it's $435 for a quarter-page ad once in the paper. Then I'm also going to be utilizing Cable 10, social media, flyers, county website to promote the event. So
I'm gonna throw out there, I think we could do without the newspaper ad, that's myself. I think between social media, Cable 10, and some things like that, you're probably gonna get the word out. Have you talked to another extension office, conservation district? Maybe they could push it too.
they're going to
So-
promote it.
Perfect. What do y'all think about that?
Where's it gonna be held at? Where's the?
Is there 127, the state garage,
It's there.
interstate there?
That was my question, because we were gonna have issues having this at Lakeview, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna be at the 127 State Garage this year?
Correct.
Are we gonna be,
I got it.
working anybody there, or is it all gonna be handled by the state?
So they assign a program coordinator with the county, which would be me for all 3 days I'll be at the event. And then they suggest having at least 4 road department personnel, and we help manage the line. I've talked to the road department already, and these dates work for them.
Okay.
And then they also have their contractors there as well. So there'll be about 8 people total helping with the line and managing that.
I'm happy to welcome you all to the beautiful First District.
I was waiting for that. I'm
Be
surprised it
holding
took you
that
that
door
long,
open.
Squire.
Be holding that door open. That's where it all happens.
Yeah.
A question, Judge, I mean, this is held in Franklin County, but it's typically open to multiple counties, right?
Yeah.
Mightn't there be some benefit to put it in the paper in Henry County or in Anderson County, the sort of surrounding? I'd like to see, we get flow in from, in my district, in the creek beds very often from some of those other counties, things kind of coming on in, that it would be nice to broadly throw this out as much as possible. I'm sure.
Mine too, but I get lots of things from my neighboring county next door. It's been on television, how great
So
stuff
Ally,
appears in my district.
could you, you could reach out to surrounding county,
That's
maybe
what
waste
we need.
people.
That's what we do every time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
so
we're
I'll
not
reach out to
expending
the
funds
solid
to do
waste
this.
coordinators for the surrounding counties.
yeah.
And it's open to any county technically in the whole
Yeah.
state. And there's multiple events in the same month in other counties.
How do you monitor eligible participants?
What the division suggested is we can check driver's licenses, but they said to really look at what am I thinking of? The driver's tags. What's the word? License plate. Thank you. I'm
Gotta start doing
tired.
some charades tonight. This is fun.
License plate. If it's out of state, then checking their driver's license. That's what they suggested to monitor it.
And it's no commercial
Is there a
vehicles.
limit to how many
no
tires
trailers,
one
stuff.
person could bring?
No, there's no limit, but we do not work with tire collection businesses. Yeah.
People can't bring a
no-
trailer load in there. You could bring a pickup load, but no commercial vehicles.
You
I was
could if
wondering
they
more
were
about-
on your own property, right?
Well, I don't know. But
What we look for-
I worry about people who are commercial tire people.
I don't know if
bring
y'all
on-
have seen it or not, but
They get $2
on
anyway, something.
60 going towards Versailles, there's a little, used to be a smoke shop. Well, now they're doing tires at night. They've got a gooseneck trailer and tires everywhere up there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they have a contract to get rid of them or if
Yeah.
they're planning on.
I've
I bet there's 253 of the
Yeah.
tires.
I've seen a guy out there with the floor jack
In the
car,
parking lot.
single axle at
In
a
the
time.
parking.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that it's not OSHA, there's not a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Not say great, so in the city, I believe.
It is.
It is.
So
Well,
that
I can't say anything.
is that the only way you're checking to make sure we're not taking tires from a commercial operator?
What the division suggested is they said there's white or yellow chalk markings on the side of tires that are collected at those type of facilities. So to question people, we're not permitted to take ones with industrial markings on them.
Well, these guys don't look like they're really law-abiding to me. I'm just putting it out there.
Careful.
Ally, thank you. Go ahead.
Judge, I would be fine to spend a little money to put it out, but I think more impactful is maybe the State Journal's website and their digital presence than their printed presence.
Okay.
So I'm fine to authorize that. I'd like to get that out as far and as wide as we could this year, because we had quite a bit show up at the cleanup days at the fire stations, more than I expected in my district, tires being dropped off, even though everyone's told no to hold them until now. So I know there's always a pretty big need.
People are
Eventually, we'll hopefully clean up
waiting.
this whole county, but
Yep.
Ally, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Big Duke's coming back. He just can't stay away tonight. Yeah.
All right, Road Department, I'd like to ask the court to authorize us to purchase two 2024 Ford F-550 cab and chassis from Paul Miller Ford in Lexington. It's off the master agreement. We did get 3 quotes. All of them were pretty close, but Paul Miller had the lowest. So I spoke with Mr. Simpson, the salesman, today, and asked him about delivery. If we got approved, and he said that we should have possession of the vehicles by the end of the year, calendar year.
And then that's just cab and chassis, right?
That's correct, and then we'd have to send them, be upfitted.
We do that somewhere
Beds
else.
and snow equipment.
So is there any way we could have them ready? I mean, can you go ahead and pre-order the snow stuff and all that?
We could, once I get authorization from the court.
Yeah, so it can be sitting
To do
there.
that.
Maybe get his place in line.
Right.
Okay. Any questions on this?
But it comes with the,
What's the snow plow
it,
prep
it
package?
comes with the prep package, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
It comes with like a,
That's the wiring and.
It's just wiring and
That
the
sort of
harness
thing.
and stuff, yeah, not a lot.
Right.
All right.
This is money that we had last year from the single axle truck that we weren't able to get.
But I think you all decided that the 550s are probably a
Yes.
pretty good way to go. That's why I decided to go this way.
It says LGEA account in here for the $111,000, so you said it was already,
It was from, Amy, it was from last year, correct? And we just we're able to use it this year, so the money was already
well,
set
it's
aside.
just money in the LGEA,
That's
it's rock
correct.
money is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Duke, thank you.
We don't have no oil wells here, I don't reckon.
Ally, come on back up. Sorry, I didn't mean to, I would have done those back to back. I wasn't paying attention.
No, it's fine. This one, I'm requesting approval to enter in a Sourcewell agreement for the purchase of an automatic bagger machine for the compost facility. When we do our compost giveaways, this is a device that would, it like open and closes and automatically fills bags. We already got authorization to purchase this from the state composting grant, so.
Ally, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm super excited about this one here, and I appreciate the state giving us this grant. Is there any money left to buy bags?
So I think I would be able to get bags because I was approved for 78,000 and this came in at 74.
Okay. So let's maybe talk about that and come up with a cool logo or something like that, you know, see if we could do something fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep. Perfect.
Just a question on this one, Ally. I'm there's been some discussion about, you know, maybe selling that compost in some way. I'm assuming that some of these grants are going to be restrictive in allowing us to use them for any kind of profitable operation. I doubt that you know the answer to that. I'm just asking to look at that as part of this grant for the future.
Surprisingly not. So I wrote
No?
in the grant proposal this time, I thought that might be the case, but I wrote about our intention if we're able to get the appropriate permitting and agreements with local retailers. I gave them like a price estimate that we were looking at. It would be like 2 cubic foot bags.
Yep.
I gave them all the details with that and they approved these purchases. So they are aware of the
Good to know.
possibility.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Yep.
guys.
We're all ready. Where's Tammy? Oh, there she is. Hey, Tammy, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, thank you.
They've learned where to hide, you know, I think it's funny.
This is an authorization to subaward our ARPA funds of $1.5 million to the Farmdale Sanitation District to be applied to the first phase of their Interceptor Sewer System project. This subaward combined with the committed funds will total $9,250,000. We have received a positive indication on pending requests for funding that they will be approved, allowing for launch of construction in 2025.
This is an earmark that we had, so I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get it sent to them and get it off our books, I guess you could say. It's an exciting project, and I think within the next 60 days, hopefully 30 days, we're gonna know exactly where we are, where they are with it,
For the
but
first
everything's
phase.
indicating that we're gonna be able to finally move forward. Yes, I know all of us are excited about this project. This has been a 20-year dream, and I think it's finally coming true. So we'll be happy to put some shovels in the ground on this one. So thank you for working on it, because I know it is a lot. Okay, next one.
So this is the agreement with the Farmdale Sanitation District for construction of the sewer system utilizing the ARPA funds.
So I'm going to ask, has Mr. County Attorney, have you looked over this?
I have, and I believe also our ARPA council
Yes.
has reviewed it and made some additions to that as well. So there's been multiple sets of eyes on it.
Perfect, thank you. Appreciate that. All Alrighty, next.
This is an authorization to approve an ARPA state and local fiscal recovery fund expenditure per the approval the fiscal court gave in March. Compass Municipal Advisors provide financial advice, and Stikes and Harkison provide legal advice, both at a rate of 0.75% of our ARPA expenditures.
Any questions on this? I think it's all part of the game. Alrighty. I want to thank you and Amy for working together on a lot of these things, because I know that they're very complicated, so appreciate that. All right, Amy, what we got?
So this is a request to migrate our VIP software from our local server to VIP Cloud. VIP has been our provider of our accounting software since 2016, and it does require its own local server. And this is sort of the trend where we're moving everything from local to the cloud. And so the rate is $17,400 for an annual subscription, $1,000 for a one-time setup fee. We did budget this during our budget talks.
Any questions from the court on this? Alrighty, next.
The next agenda item is for asking authorization to make 3 investments. We do have a 5-month CD of $3 million with Independence that's maturing on August 8th. And working with CashFest, we've determined that there is an additional $3.5 million available for investment. So I have reached out, or CashFest actually reached out to local banks and you have the rate sheet there. And I'd like to use that, working with some of the banks to see if we can get the best rate. So authorization to open these 3 with maturities ranging from 30 days to 9 months.
And again, Amy, I just want to say thank you for you kind of taking the lead on this whole thing. I know it's been phenomenal working with CashFest and what it's doing with our money and our returns. And I think that's why we had such a successful year last year. And it's nice to know that our money's working for us and not just sitting there like it has done in the past. So
It's very exciting.
Yep. Any questions on this agenda item for Amy?
I want to make sure I understand it. We're doing a 1 month, a 3 month, and a 9 month, is that correct?
Yes.
And they'll be all at the same bank?
No. I will probably scatter them out. I'll try to get the best rate and scatter them out.
Killing it, Amy, you're killing it.
Absolutely.
Amy, if I could, Judge, I would like, I don't know if CashFest will be back to meet with us anytime in the next year or not, but if they do, I'd like to talk to them. You know, there's some interesting opportunities for us to underwrite, support, be creative with some of the financing to support initiatives in the community. I brought up when we were at the conference that we saw them the first time that I'd like to start having a conversation, because we're doing so well with these that I think it's time for us to look at maybe what else can be done creatively. Just to ask for that. If they happen to come in, let me know when it is. I'd like to talk to them.
I meet with them quarterly, and I'm sure they would be happy to have you join with that.
Just let me know.
Amy, thank you. Moving on.
And my final agenda item is the revenue and expense report as of August the 2nd.
And Judge, I just want to
Go ahead, Squire.
thank you. Just want to point out that our treasurer has reached out to everyone, and the treasurer's report reflects the moving of the monies that we found,
Yes,
just so everybody's
correct.
clear on that.
yes.
Okay.
No questions? All right. Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Payment of claims. Do we have any questions for Kim tonight on any payment of claims? Squire Sebastian.
I guess I will ask Judge. So at the last meeting, we withheld 6 items. Are we in a position now to authorize the payment of those 6 items, or have they gone on and been paid? Because we were looking to ensure that they had met certain benchmarks.
We're still waiting on that. I did an official ask last week
All right.
of Codell and OHM to see where they thought each contractor was with their part of the project. And I wanted to meet with them when each of them had where they thought they were, to combine, to look at them, kind of cross-reference.
Absolutely.
Before we paid, because I still think most of those, and I think by law, if they billed too much, then we're not like withholding money. There's a phrase, I can't remember what was said, but, so I think we're okay. We were at a meeting the other day, no one said anything about money, everyone's fine. They're more focused on trying to get on schedule and get back in. So I think what has happened is, when construction starts, the administration people see what the timeline is and they just bill accordingly. But then the guys in the field might not be on that timeline, but the billing kept coming. So I think that's what happened. I don't think it's anybody's fault. So we have asked for an audit of that, so we should have that by next meeting.
Just giving everybody the opportunity to understand where we're at.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Judge.
No,
Thank
it's all
you.
good, thank you.
It has nothing, maybe nothing to do, it should have been probably brought up in Duke's report, but if they continue to go like they are and the weather's nice, it's gonna be a lot of progress, and they're gonna start putting the grade in and filling in and get ready to do some blacktopping out there, at least the initial grade.
Yep.
And it's, Squire Blackburn asked about the apron, which is, they're working on that, they haven't poured it yet, but they're getting
Warming
to
it
it.
up, digging.
There's gonna be a lot of progress next couple of weeks. So it's exciting. Alrighty. Thank you. Authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101BCF, deliberations on the future acquisition or sale of real property by a public agency, but not only when publicly would like to affect the value of a specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by a public agency. Discussions are proposed of pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency. Discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment of an individual employee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in closed session. are now live. Next agenda item, authorization to hire a light equipment operator / driver. Any questions or comments on that? Authorization to approve the promotion to heavy equipment operator. From promotion to foreman. Let's double check that. Yeah, it's right on the voting session, so we'll be okay. Other business, anybody have any other business? Alrighty, seeing none, we're gonna go ahead and move into the voting session. Clerk, please call the roll.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dykus.
Here.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wisman.
Present.
Judge Mueller.
Present, thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of July 24th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bids for spray foam insulation at the Franklin County Regional Jail.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Nay, nay.
Who nayed?
Two names.
The two on the.
Squire Tanner, Squire Wisman. Okay. Authorization to advertise for sealed bids for concrete at the Franklin County Regional Jail.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bids for epoxy flooring and walls at the Franklin County Regional Jail.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This next one would be authorization to approve an order of bond of no less than $10,000 and no more than $100,000 for the jailer.
To be decided by the judge upon consultation with the insurance provider.
I'll make that motion, however we need to get it square.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Second reading and approval of an ordinance amending the Franklin County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Section 155.00, District Established, to add Section 155.151, Rural Heritage Mixed Use District, HD.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the surplus of equipment for the fire department.
So moved as amended.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an agreement for 2024 Kentucky Waste Tire Management Program.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to purchase two 2024 F-550 regular cab 4x4 from Paul Miller Ford on the state master agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the solid waste department to enter into an agreement for the purchase of an automatic bagger machine with Sourcewell.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing a subaward of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds to the Farmdale Sanitation District.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a legally binding agreement with Farmdale Sanitation District for construction of the Farmdale Sanitation District Interceptor Sewer System.
So moved.
Second. Clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an American Rescue Plan Act State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund expenditure.
So
Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an agreement with Visual Intellectual Software VIP to migrate to VIP Cloud.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, did you get it?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the treasurer to open a certificate of deposit for $1.5 million for 30 days on behalf of the fiscal court with the best rate.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to authorize the treasurer to open a certificate of deposit for $3 million for 6 months on behalf of the fiscal court with the best rate.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to authorize the treasurer to open a certificate of deposit for $2 million for 9 months on behalf of fiscal court with the best rate.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny payment of any claim? No motion was made. Let the record reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to hire Floyd Choir as a light equipment operator / driver.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Want to welcome Floyd to the team. Authorization to approve the promotion of Cody Callis to foreman.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes, and we wish Cody all the best in his new leadership role. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Thank you, court. We are dismissed.